Happy Saturday. Welcome everybody to the meal call. We have our weekly meal planning call. We have a bunch of ladies who are on today. So the purpose of this call is really for us to set ourselves up for success for the week to come.
Sorry, not just you.
It's okay. I think that we all know that if we don't have some sort of preparation, then we're scrambling last minute, we're struggling, we're trying to put something together. So this call is always really, really helpful for us. We normally host them on Friday nights, so that way over the weekend we can get all of our stuff prepped for the week. But due to some scheduling conflicts, we're here on Saturday. So I have a bunch of ladies on the call, and we are just going to do our normal thing. So really fast, for some of you guys who are new, I wanted to explain the way that I do it. Everyone has a different technique, and whatever works for you, that's awesome. I have a notebook that I have been copying my weekly meal plans every single week. So I do it like this because to me it's a really good reference. Sometimes when I'm stuck with what I want for breakfast or lunch or dinner, I can flip back in. I know that there's other techniques. Some people have them on paper. Some people have to do for their whole family. I personally eat the same meal every single day for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and shake during the week. So the way that I generally structure mine, I don't know if you guys can even see it, but I write my container count on top. I follow the portions. So I write my containers on top for what I need for the week, and then I do the different meals that I'm going to have. And then I always start with a meal that I'm like really craving. So this isn't this week's, this is the previous one. But what I've been craving, because it's getting like fall and cold here in New York, I've really been looking forward to pot roast. So we have a recipe that's actually in our files section that is Confessions of a Fit Foodie. It's an instant pot roast. So I am making that for dinner. So what I do is I start with that one meal that I definitely want to make, and then I build off of that what containers I have left. Sam, Georgiana, do you guys have any ideas of what you guys are cooking for this week?
Well, just piggybacking on that, what I love about Shakeology is that that's one meal that you have already taken care of. So like if you know Shakeology, you know the containers. If you're using the container system, you know which ones you're going to be using. And then like you say, I love that idea of starting with something you've been craving. That's great. Yeah. And then working out from there and then saying, okay, how many containers do I have left? What meals do I have left? And then thinking like, what do I like to eat? What do I enjoy? And then where does that fit with the containers? And don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Stick with the stuff that you like. It doesn't have to be complicated. So we're kind of in a weird Wednesday to Wednesday meal prep mode over here. So we're not actually, because we didn't prep till Wednesday for some reason. I don't know. Maybe last weekend was crazy. I don't remember what happened, but we didn't prep till Wednesday. So we have food till this Wednesday coming up. Probably has something to do with Halloween. I don't know why. But we made another Confessions of a Fit Foodie meal that is amazing that we made, that is in our refrigerator right now, and I'm going to be having it after this call, is the Instant Pot, or you can do it in the crock pot, bolognese over spaghetti squash. So that's a favorite of ours, the pot roast. Amazing. If you haven't made it yet, it's, oh my God, it's like lick the bowl. Amazing. It's honestly, it's the best pot roast I've ever had in my whole life. And I've always liked pot roast. So you got to check it out. Just go to Confessions of a Fit Foodie, the website, and anything that you punch in there, you're pretty much going to like it. I haven't made one thing of hers that I don't like. So that's what we're having. And then, Mike tried a new recipe this past week. We haven't tried it yet because we're behind and everything, but he did make it. Maybe we'll have it later. It's like a
the pups sound like they're gonna love it. Bring it on over to Arlene's house. They got excited.
They're like, what? Chicken? You said chicken? He made chicken, and it's like a Greek kind of style chicken. It was in the crock pot, and it was like chicken and olives and some other stuff. I haven't tasted it yet. So we have that. We have the bolognese already. So we haven't really thought past, we have to get through that food first. Mm-hmm. For breakfast this past week, we did a frittata. It was pretty good. He wound up using like gorgonzola in it, which I love, but not in the frittata.
I've done that once too, because that's what I had left over in the fridge, and I was like, no, it just doesn't work, because it's almost
too strong
taste than it's for eating a whole bowl of gorgonzola.
I was like, I wanted to taste the eggs. I want to taste the veggies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just taste gorgonzola. The recipe called for goat cheese, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't like the look of the goat cheese, so I got the gorgonzola." And I'm like, "Okay." And it was, I had a feeling it wasn't going to be great. I ate it anyway, but it just wasn't that great. And then I paired with it sweet potato, and then I wound up. Oh, I wanted to tell you about this. What did I make? Oh, I wanted to make a chicken soup for the first time, and I put sweet potatoes in it. And the sweet potatoes, they weren't cooked enough. So I wound up cutting them up and then putting them in the soup. And then for the days that I now had no starch or carbohydrate to go with the frittata, I just did oatmeal, like quick oats, whatever I had. And then I just added banana to it and maple syrup and a couple chocolate chips, and tasted good. So that's what I had. I don't know what we're doing for breakfast this week. I would love some ideas for breakfast.
Yeah, no, this week for me, because I do a ton of traveling, so I had to plan my meals accordingly, and I am one for super simple. I always have a protein ready, so I always make like turkey meatballs. They are always in my fridge or freezer ahead of time, and I take them out when I need them. And then I pair them with a veggie. I pair them with zucchini. I'll pair them with asparagus. I keep it super simple for myself. I don't make a ton of huge meals, but the one thing that I made here, and I tried it, is from Autumn's Fix It 2 cookbook. But I also think it's on her recipe on the online as well, was the cauliflower and roasted garlic soup. Let me tell you, that is utterly phenomenal. Like I can't even begin to tell you, like I could eat the entire pot of soup and just like continue to eat that soup. It is so good. And so I have that, but I also like to freeze it then, especially so that way I can have it, like I made it for myself because I'm one person. I don't want to eat soup literally 7 days, 10 days out of the week. For me, granted, I do it for 5, I do it for 7, but then I still have extras. So I will then freeze the rest. But that soup is so, so, so good and so simple. And for me, the longest part of that soup was cutting up all the cauliflower, which you could totally substitute frozen cauliflower for it, and it makes it a snap. The other harder part was the roasted garlic. So you take 2 bulbs of garlic and you cut partial of the top so it'll expose the garlic bulbs, and you roast them in the oven. And that takes about an hour. But if you do that, your house smells so good. Like it smells and perfumes of garlic. It's delicious. But it makes the soup, literally. And then I have an immersion blender, and you just blend it up, or you can use it in a regular blender or food processor, whatever you have. But it's super simple, super good. And I'm telling you, you can't, like, it kind of tastes like potato, like a good, like a potato soup, but it's not. And it's utterly fantastic. Because I will be traveling, I go to the grocery store. Yep. Go
Can
ahead.
you share that recipe in our group? I've never seen it before, and it sounds like something that my mom would love because she's very much into like a hearty soup like that.
Absolutely. I'll share it.
Thanks.
And so when I travel, so like I'm going to be in Nashville next week, and I will go to the grocery store. Yes, I can't do a whole lot because I'm in Nashville and I don't have a kitchen or anything like that. But what I do is that I will get the carrot sticks, the celery sticks, mini cucumbers. I'll pick those up, and I will have them, like I can wash them in my sink, and just get them. They're pre-done, pre-chopped. And it's easy for me to keep that snacks in my car or in my mini fridge and keep them on the go. I will keep, I'm trying, I eat it, I just swallow it. Don't mean I like it, but I don't like yogurt, but I just swallow. And you just do it, and it just happens. I will, when I use if I have a hotel that will give me, I try to go to hotels that have breakfasts. And I will, when I go there, I'm very strategic. So I will get eggs, I'll get fruit, And if I need to have like a carb or anything like that, I will either get a slice of wheat toast, or they'll sometimes have like cubed potatoes. And like I have figured out my container, so I don't use them. I can eyeball it and I can get my portions. But I have done it in the past where I've taken my containers and because I follow Portion Fix, so I will bring those along and I will just have them in there. The other thing is when I go out to a restaurant, and because I have to eat out, I can't, unfortunately, I'll also stop at grocery stores like for lunches and make a salad at the salad bar, and I will make that for my lunch usually. So I'm only eating out a meal at dinner time most of the time, unless I have to take a client and things like that. But when I do it at a restaurant, I go to their healthier options that they have on a menu. I always try to go to those, and I will either get, chicken. I always make sure I have a protein, and I'll always make sure I have some veggie, and I'll eat those first before I ever touch like a carb. I will eat those first. So I kind of then follow the 2B mindset and as veggies most when I do that. So that way I can fill up on the veggies and the protein, and then I only have little bits of carbs here and there. And the other thing is I will go when I'm traveling, water is a big issue. I don't have things for water and things like that. I will literally buy a case of water, and whatever I don't use in the terms of the case of water, I actually go to the homeless and I actually give my free water to them because I've had too much and I hate wasting. And so I will stop there and I'll be like, here you guys go. Because it's the season of giving, and I try to do something nice for other people as much as possible. So that's kind of how I do it. This past week, I had the cauliflower soup. I have chicken and turkey meatballs.
Love that, Mike.
Huh?
Love that. Love
Right?
that.
Like jealous.
It's our anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary! Oh,
So he gets a booty grab on an anniversary. That's how it goes.
Yeah, he gets
Gotta
to
love
feel the
that.
top of field.
So I will. So I'll just have that.
Sorry. Wait. He just said they call me David. What did you say? David Copperfield.
Oh, that's hilarious. So like when I do have my meal prep, I will always cut up my veggies ahead of time. So zucchini, asparagus, broccoli, cauliflower, it's all prepped and ready for me. So when I do bake or when I do make my food, it's just easily already pre-chopped. It's huge. It's a time saver. I do it all. I will get chicken. If I'm going to have chicken grilled, I'll have it all sit in the marinade ready for me that week. So because that's how I roll. And breakfasts, I am pretty simple. I make myself eggs or have my shake. And that's pretty much what I have for my breakfast. I like mine blended. So when I go and I travel, that's a little hard. But if you go to different places and you ask really, really, really nicely, you can sometimes get them blended into your smoothie or whatever, or you just talk really sweetly to them, and and if it's a cute guy there, you just flirt and you can get your shake blended. There you go. That's how I roll. I also love beach bars. My beach bars are life. I literally pack like 2 to have my snacks. I pack so many of them, so that way I have them along with me. So I'm always having a good source of protein and things like that, and a healthier carb, and just making sure that I am prepared on when I travel, because it's very hard. It's very difficult. And a lot of times before doing this, I would eat out 3 meals a day, and that would just be horrible. And then I would come back and I'd feel like disgusting. So now doing this, I feel more energized when I travel. I feel healthier by the time I get back. I'm not looking at my measurements in the scale, feel like I'll look next week. I feel good, and that's huge. So when you do travel, takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of preparing, figuring things out, but it's worth it.
I think it's definitely good to try to find that balance, but like realistically, you're not home, so it's not going to be as perfect as you could be from home. Arlene, do you want to touch base really fast on how you plan your To Be Mindset stuff? I do know it's a little bit different and very similar principles of figuring out what you're going to have for the week, but I know it's a little bit different and it'll help some.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. So basically the way I plan it out is with the To Be Mindset, you're allowed an FFC, which is a fat fiber filling carb. But luckily for the To Be Mindsetters, we're allowed to use fruit. So usually my breakfast is a shake with a banana, half a banana or some berries or whatever. So that's counted as my protein and my FFC. And then vegetables are free. So then I'll add a beet or I'll add spinach to my shakes. And that kind of gets me through my morning breakfast. I've been trying to shift. What?
How are the beets in the shit? I know Carrie Danielle loves beets so much. She just wants to eat them all day.
So good. I buy them from Costco. I'll show you what the bag looks like. They're so good.
What happens to the shake though? Does it get
It turns red. It turns red, and if you don't blend it enough, you get little chunks of beet. But
does it make how does it make the taste? Because like spinach, I don't taste at all. Do you taste beet?
Yes, you do taste the beet.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Carrie Danielle, I was obviously being sarcastic. Carrie Danielle would not like that.
Okay. And then I've also been like trying to substitute like a cottage cheese or a Greek yogurt in the morning with some fruit and some granola. And then I'll add, maybe I'll munch on carrot sticks or something in the morning for breakfast. My lunch is usually very boring. Again, I'm like you guys, I'm very plain. I don't do casseroles because it's harder for me to track. So I usually just either have some kind of protein. I always start with a vegetable. So like Samantha, I have them on hand. So on Sunday morning, I'll grill up all my asparagus. I'll grill up all my green beans or my broccoli, whatever I'm going to plan for the week. Because vegetables are you want a lot of them. So I try to have them on hand for every meal. So for this week, I got romaine lettuce. I added some tomatoes and red onion, and I grilled up some chicken this morning. So I added that to the salad. I'm trying to do a week of salad and see what happens because I'm always using like olive oil and coconut oil, which are good for you, but I'm trying a different approach. And then for lunch, I'll have an FFC. I do black beans. I do chickpeas. I will do butternut squash because butternut squash is considered an FFC and 2B. Or I'll do green peas, which are easy because it's a bag of frozen peas. You stick it in the steamer and there you can measure it out or however, you only eat 25% of it. So you have it for the week. And then I'm allowed a snack. What?
Arlene, just to be clear, for anyone who's doing To Be Mindset, it's not that you can't eat carbs, but Arlene has a grain intolerance and gluten intolerance, correct?
Right, right.
You're
exactly.
missing a lot of other options, but they can, for their FFCs, have acceptable carbohydrates, but those are just the ones that work for you.
Yeah, and the nice thing is you can have fruit. So with my salad, I could add strawberries or blueberries to it. So there's my FFC. Do you know what I mean? If I don't want to add a bean. But you can add rice, you can add quinoa, pasta. I just don't choose to eat that. Sometimes for breakfast, I'll have an English muffin. I'll have half of an English muffin, for breakfast with an egg. That's also a good option. And then I have a snack, which I love the beach bars for that, with some kind of vegetable. So it's either celery sticks or I grill up some zucchini and I make them like little potato chips and I munch on those because usually I'm in the car at 3:00. And then my dinner is always a protein and a veggie of some sort. So this week we're doing chili, and I will do it over cauliflower rice, or I will put it on romaine lettuce and eat it more like a taco versus the chips and the rice.
Do the chubby? I forget if the beans. Do you use beans in your chili or no?
I do. That's going to be hard for me for dinner.
Right?
It's an FFC. That'll be hard for me for dinner, but I have to live in that same house.
Of course. And you know what though? How much beans? It's not going to be a full 25%. You know what I'm saying? There's just some beans in there. It's not like that much.
Right. And if you watch her videos, her husband has an FFC at dinner and he tracks it and it's fine. So depending on you know, the whole thing about to be mindset is you track it. You get on the scale, you track it. So if you're gaining weight, then it's obviously the beans and the chili. It might not be. I might not have had enough water. There's a whole bunch of other things involved.
Like, I like what she says in that program. She'll say, just track and see. You know, it might work for you. You know, if it doesn't, then you know you can't do that. Or if you want different results, then that wouldn't be the way to go.
Right. So that's my week. We're going away next weekend. So Samantha, thank you for all the helpful tips. We, like I said, my lunch is already made. I have salad already prepared. My shakes will be my breakfast. And I cut up some celery sticks to munch in the car with the Beach Bar. You know, I keep it very simple. I love casseroles, but casseroles are so hard to kind of like keep moving.
Yeah, I've been using the Beach Bars too, guys. I've been having like one every day.
Did they give you a taste of the new one at Super Saturday?
No, and you know, they had this really cute today at the Super Saturday. They had they did a great job. It was a very small, there wasn't many people there at all. It was just in the gym of an elementary school, and it wasn't like packed. Like you had plenty of room to work out, which is kind of nice. But they had like this they set it up so nice. They had a Shakeology bar. They actually had coffee. They had like, they made these little dessert things out of Shakeology, but they tasted much better than any ones I've ever made. Like I should have asked them what the recipe was because they were really good. But I was hoping when I saw the Shakeology bar, I'm like, oh, they have peppermint. I want to try it. But it wasn't. It was actually cafe latte. But again, I don't know if it's because somebody else made it. But I'm like, this is so much better than when I have it. How did they think?
The last Super Saturday that I went to with them, they made one also. It was cafe latte, and they put almonds or some sort of a nut actually in it when they made it, and it was delicious. It was very, very good. I'll find it. It's one of the like Beachbody on Demand recipes for Shakeology.
Yeah, they do a really good job of that. They always taste better, and I'm a firm believer, because we just don't make it, and so it always tastes better because you're like, oh, I didn't make it. But I'm so excited for my peppermint mocha. I have 5 boxes coming because that's my life. So
it doesn't sell out yet, right? I have to order 2. I didn't get a chance to.
You have to order because they said they're half sold out. They're half done already. So they're going to sell out. Like I would say probably, he said definitely get it by this week, but the sooner
the better.
Because it's half sold out already.
Yeah. I'm very excited because my shakes are chocolate. I love chocolate, but I always put peppermint extract into mine.
Oh, you do? See, I've tried that.
Yes.
It never comes out right. That's why I'm excited for the peppermint mocha, because every time I've tried to put like peppermint extract in, I'm like, ugh, all I taste is peppermint. It's nasty. So I'm excited to try, the real way.
Greg's doing some food prep for him right now. So I'm really excited. I came up with a full week plan as we were sitting here. Normally by the end of the call, I'm all distracted, not paying attention, but I have a full plan. So for my shake, I'm like in fall mode completely. I'm going to have the pumpkin shake in the morning with banana. And then I'm going to I believe that we have a recipe that people like for carrot cake overnight oats. That's somewhere, right? Or you made carrot cake oatmeal.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go look now and make sure I have it. Hold on.
That's something that if we can find that recipe, I'm definitely going to do overnight oats so I can grab them on the way to work. For lunch, I'm going to do that Instant Pot that I talked about, and that has carrots and potatoes in it. And then for dinner, I'm going to make spaghetti. How cute. How perfect. I'm going to make spaghetti squash lasagna with turkey meat. Really, really easy. You make your spaghetti squash, you scoop it out, and then you just layer it like you would. Ooh, that's what I need. I need that recipe. You layer your spaghetti squash as if you would lasagna, and then you put the sauce, and then you put ricotta cheese, so it's protein, and then I add meat to it. The original Beachbody recipe doesn't have meat, but just for another protein, I add turkey chopped meat to it. And then you just do the same, repeat a layer again, so it makes like a little fake lasagna. It's so good.
Where is that?
That was one of the recipes. I think it's in the Morning Meltdown 100 recipe cookbook is where I got it. I'll find it and I'll send you over a picture. I think it's
because I have a huge spaghetti squash. That would be great for when I get back on Tuesday.
So good. Let me see right now.
This carrot cake oatmeal, I could eat it every day for the rest of my life.
It has oatmeal in it, right?
Amazing.
Put it in the recipe guide.
It's an Instant Pot. Now, what I'm going to do is I like the website better. So I'm going to look for the website.
Okay.
Because I have it, I could take a picture of it, but I feel like that's annoying, like for
Yeah.
you guys, especially because it's like a front and back. So after the call, I'm going to leave this out so I don't forget. And I'll look for the website and I'll try to find it that way. It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I can honestly say for like this past week, I get like, I have pork chops in my freezer. So like I always take those out. I'll take them because they're pre-portioned. And I had that, like I put it on a marinade and put it on the grill. And I'm pretty simple.
I was able to find the spaghetti squash lasagna recipe. If you
Okay.
have the Morning Meltdown recipe book, it's in there. I will also take a picture of it and I'll send it to you guys in Team Crush.
Great, thank you. I forget to look in those cookbooks. It's so
There's
sad.
a lot of good
I
stuff.
have so many.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a mango lime dressing from the Coeur de Force one that I literally like. I use
Really?
all the time.
All right, I'm writing
All
that
the
down.
time. It is honestly fantastic.
It's quarter four, she said?
Yeah, it's down the Coeur de Force one.
I just downloaded the Insanity Max 30 7-day ab one, and there's like some really great egg recipes in there.
Then,
Not that I don't know how to make eggs, but
a
like
different way.
it's like 1 egg and 4 egg whites or something like that, and it counts as 1 red. I was like, seriously? That's way too much food.
That's the nice thing. You're not gonna get hungry on this, and
No.
that's like the best part. Like you just learn the right portions for your body.
Exactly.
I think in the beginning I was hungry, like when I first started, but that was because I was used to eating way too much. Like my stomach had to shrink a little bit. But like, once you get through that like first week hump, that's it. And then your body gets used to like how much it's supposed to really have. And then you're really never hungry. Like I'm never hungry.
No.
I think that in the beginning, I was so used to picking on something or skipping breakfast, picking on something at lunch or half eating lunch and then having a huge dinner. So I felt like my body just wasn't used to the small meals throughout the day.
Right.
And when I was having them, I wasn't eating enough of it, or I was like, oh, I'm just not used to eating right now. So I couldn't even eat all of my breakfast. So I ended up throwing out half my breakfast. Then by the time lunchtime came, I was like ravenously hungry. Like it did just take a little bit for my body to get used to, but like now I'm not hungry at all. Like, and I don't even crave the little pickups of here and there of this and that. But well, I can tell myself though, once I start getting off track, then it's like, ooh, there's a piece of chocolate. Now I want that. Ooh, now I want that little bad thing. And
Absolutely. How many meals do you eat a day?
I try to do 5, but sometimes the way that works out with my containers, I don't have something for my snack. It isn't best though in Ultimate Portion Fix. Autumn does talk about having maximum 3 containers in your meals, but sometimes
For each meal, right.
eating the stuff, just for my dinner, just from the way it works out for when I'm putting it in, it ends up being more containers. So I sometimes don't have my snack, but I try for 5.
Okay. No, because to your mindset, if you look at the schedule, it's, breakfast, it's lunch, and snack optional, and then dinner. But I find I do better with 5 small meals a day versus the 4. So that's what I'm curious to see. The shake does cover me. Like my breakfast is usually, it's not that big, but it does hold me over. But then all of a sudden I find like I'll do a 7:30 breakfast and I'm eating lunch at 11:30 or 12, and then I eat again at 3. And I'm like, why am I eating? Am I hungry? And that's when I'm trying to like be more conscious. But I think that I need a 5th meal in there. I think it's too long of a time for me. So I'm going to start adding some, even if it's just a handful of nuts or something, that's why I did all the celery sticks. Even if it's just some celery sticks and some fruit or something.
I know that it's 2 different mindsets, but when Autumn talks about it in Ultimate Portion Fix, she does say 2 to 3 hours you should be eating to keep your metabolism up, because then when it goes down, that's when you crash and you're craving stuff and you're hungry. So that way you never get to that hungry state. That's why you keep yourself up in 2 to 3 hour increments.
Well, that's why I think it's great that we have 2 options, because everyone's body is different. When I first started the 2B mindset, 8 pounds like slid right off of me, so I'm saying like at that time, that's what I needed and it worked for me and it was great, so, but the Portion Fix is where I started, and that's
I wonder if you go back
amazing for different reasons. What?
I wonder if you go back and forth, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how when you do different workout programs and it kind of confuses your muscles and kind of gets them to, like, you know, do what you want to do. I wonder if that would work with the nutrition too. Like, I'm going to do 2B Mindset for like 6 months, and then I'm going to do Ultimate Portion Fix for 6 months. You know what I mean? And just be like, confuse my body. And I don't
know. I'll let you know because I'm trying right now.
know. Okay. And I know other people, like even Susan in the group, she kind of combines the two philosophies. So that's, I guess everybody's different. You know, you got to find what's working.
You gotta find it's trial and error, and you can't give up. You can't quit.
Right.
You can't be hard. Like there are times I'm like, oh, I can't believe I ate 2 beach bars versus 1, and the scale goes down. And I'm like, wait a second, I had 2 beach bars today. That's weird.
Yeah.
So you can't beat yourself up over it. It's not because then that becomes crazy.
And that's
Right.
like you learned here to not focus so much on the scale aspect. I know TV is a little bit different, but for me, it was getting out of that mindset. And once you got out of it, for me, was so much more mentally freeing. I wasn't constantly worried on that scale as much as my measurements, because then my clothes were fitting nicer. And I was like, but my weight wasn't doing anything. And I was like, well, Samantha, you just lost 5 inches. That would help. You know? So you just gotta, that was the other part of it. Like 2B is perfect for figuring out, learning how to enjoy the scale more, which I like about that, because it really shows the positive side of the scale. And at the same time, Ultimate Portion Fix really focuses on measurements, showing and feeling like it's good to combine both.
No, I agree. I think I like 2B Mindset only because it gives me a little bit more of a relaxed feeling. Funny, you know, it's so different because my containers are like, oh, I didn't have a blue today. Where's my blue? I got to have a blue. Where am I going to put the blue in? Oh my God, I got to have the blue. You know, I just had a whole handful of pumpkin seeds because I didn't get my orange in today. So that's where it makes me crazy, because if I'm going out for dinner, you know, if you're doing 2B Mindset, you know, your wine and stuff is as extra. Sorry, that sun is annoying. But you have to plan backwards if you're going out for dinner, if you're going to have those yellows. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it all depends on what you're comfortable with and where your lifestyle is, I think. And I'm glad we have options, because I think, like Susan, I dabble a little bit back and forth depending on my situation. If I'm going to be out with friends and we're all having beans on nachos, I'm like, oh, I'm having, you know, we'll just change things up. But you have to kind of just be consistent, track it, and know what works for your body and your lifestyle. But don't give up right away if you don't see anything happen, because it takes time. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. But like Sam said, it's not always about the scale. It's about how you're feeling and in your clothes, and, you know, so.
We're about to end in a few seconds, so I just want to say
Okay,
thank
good.
you, ladies, for hopping on. I really appreciate it. I know Saturday, weird time, but
No, it worked out great.
If you didn't take a picture, because I can't take a picture.
hold on, it may die before that. Hold on, let me try.
See, Harry.
Hold on, I'm trying.